Good news, everyone. The Chinese Communist Party is going to be our overlords in 8 years. I guess 7, I suppose, time of recording, but just because that forecast is out there doesn't mean that we can't actively fight against it. The future's not set in stone, and we can do a whole hell of a lot of things in order to change that, like make sure that the steel isn't completed. But anyways, what do they say here? Why do they think that by 2028, Chinese economy is going to overtake the United States due to COVID, apparently? China will overtake the US to become the world's largest economy by 2028, 5 years earlier than a previous forecast. Yeah, it was probably put off by that because everybody was doing great prior to 2020. Well, I guess, March 2020? And because, Wuhan's holding fucking rave and ecstasy parties and everybody here's all fucking hunkered down because the coof is so terrible. The UK-based Centre for Economics and Business Research, the CEBR. Oh, okay. Different than the CEFC. I've been typing that a whole lot lately, and Hunter Biden can never be too far out of the headlines. It said China's skillful management of oh my god! UK-based center saying China's skillful management of COVID-19. Yes, by not reporting the proper numbers or any death totals and welding people into their houses. That's terrific. Would boost its relative growth compared to the US and Europe in coming years. Well, actually, you know what? I kind of walk back that skillful claim. They didn't lock down a second time, and they just went back to making sure that their economy was going to prosper over the long term. That is skillful. Several states have done that, like South Dakota and Florida. Some 300 IQ individuals say that is murdering your citizens. I'd say that it's making sure that the communists don't take over. Meanwhile, India is tipped to become the third largest economy by 2030. Well, that's good. At least they're using democracy, and even though Modi seems like he might be a little bit of a tyrant in waiting, good things are happening in India, especially when you compare it to China. The CEBR releases its economic league table every year on Boxing Day. How terrific. Although China was the first country hit by COVID-19, it controlled the disease through swift and extremely strict action. You believe those numbers? This is the BBC after all. Meaning it did not need to repeat economically paralyzing lockdowns as European countries and the rest of the world have. How fucking stupid are you to believe the official Chinese numbers? Like, you have to be chugging paint on the reg. You have to be huffing that good Glade shit in order to take anything that the CCP has to say is legit. Whatever. As a result, unlike other major economies, it avoided an economic recession in 2020, and in fact, they grew by 2% this year. Yeah. They're the fucking supervillains of 2020, and yet they grow economically. Probably because the only things that you can buy are from Amazon or from Costco, Walmart, big box stores, and guess where they get everything made? Guess where they get everything made? Exactly. It's almost like the Great Reset, to pull a term, is perfectly designed to make sure that China and all of their manufacturing facilities flourish while small businesses and people trying to get ahead get punished. Almost like that. The U.S. economy, by contrast, was hit hard by the world's worst coronavirus epidemic. Now it's an epidemic? I thought it was a pandemic. In terms of sheer numbers, more than 330,000 people have died in the United States, and there has been some 18.5 million confirmed cases. Testing? Very loose definition of what is regarded as a COVID death, and governors putting sick people in long-term nursing care facilities. So that would explain 330,000 people, and you're also just counting one full flu season. But I guess we're just looking at everything, and we're just looking at numbers uncritically because the BBC is fucking retarded. The economic damage has been cushioned by monetary policy and a huge fiscal stimulus. By printing more money, your economy will be better is some fucking grade school logic right there. But political disagreements over the new stimulus package could leave around 14 million Americans without unemployment benefit payment in the new year. Breitbart did a really cool and really necessary breakdown of all of the shit that was stuffed into that 5,500 page bill that Trump was like, it's fucking revise this shit and then I'll sign it, and plus give everybody $2,000 instead of $600 because fuck you. They broke it down and they showed all of the unnecessary spending that was proposed there. As you can see, it's literally about a full entire windows full of garbage. You know how much it would actually cost? $183 billion to give the appropriate people $2,000. Yeah, and what did they propose at the beginning anyways? A $1.4 trillion government spending bill. That ends up being $2.3 trillion with the $900 billion coronavirus relief package, and then, yeah, the government spending bill. So, $183 billion. Yeah. That would be fine. But like I said at the beginning, it's not set in stone. China doesn't necessarily immediately jump right into number one position. America moves into number two. The world ends up as a shittier place because the top dog always dictates how the rest of the world rolls. And if a fucking communist powerhouse that enslaves millions of fucking people in order to make their economy run, if you have any idea why they're going to be fucking number one, if not, well, they're already number two. If they're going to overtake the United States at some point, it's because they have forced labor camps, because they have slave labor. But not according to this fucking retard, a Chinese spokesperson from a Chinese government account, Hua Chunying, sure. Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Director General, Information Department, MFA, PRC. Oh, you can follow them on YouTube. I'm so glad we're on the exact same platform. Boy. This is almost as depressing as Brody Lee dying today. Oh my fucking God. Sorry I have to return to live programming and report on all of this horrible stuff. This is according to dipshit here at the fucking propaganda outlet for the CCP. Stop making and spreading disinformation. The so-called million-plus Uyghurs detained and thousands. He can't even use proper grammar. It's understandable. When you're trying to influence Americans, it's best that you have a shaved snatch and not a grammar or an English degree. See Fang Fang. Or don't if you like freedom. Yeah, million-plus Uyghurs detained and thousands subjected to forced labor is pure lies and fake news. That is functionally retarded. See previous videos or even just search up the Uyghur genocide. That's basically what's fucking happening and has been reported by several large outlets around the world. But not according to a ministry spokesperson. While 1 million Americans lining up for unemployment benefits is true, caused by a virus in your country, and you aren't reporting the real numbers on it, but the BBC is buying it hook, line, and sinker. But meanwhile, he's trying to make this false equivalency, like, okay, people are unemployed is exactly the same as people being forced to be sterilized, have their organs removed, their hair harvested, be re-educated in camps, like you can see in that perfect picture there, that they're all huddled in fucking cages, just for their color of their skin and their religious ideology. Isn't it America's belief that those who slander and defame should be held accountable? See, this is again something else that you're going to see from the likes of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. As much as I rail against those people, they haven't quite committed the atrocities that the Chinese Communist Party has. They are trying to get you to play by rules that you have set out for yourself while not acknowledging that they exist when they play those same tactics. Like, they want you to play fair while they have no history of actually playing fair. You say bad words about us, but we can just go out and still commit those things because we told you that it's a lie. And because you're going to have idiots out there thinking that, oh, wow, they haven't had a case of coronavirus because they locked down everything. Even though that something else that was very underreported was they locked down, China did at the outset of this virus, they locked down domestic travel, but not international travel. They knew exactly what they were doing, people. No, this is a classic example of propaganda, telling you that something that you can see with your eyes and research with just a couple of Google clicks, or you can watch a charming Canadian man's breakdown of it as well. I've done it a couple of times. Oh, I should say that charming Canadian lad has. Tell you that something that you can see with your eyes is patently false, making a false equivalency, and also asking you to play by rules in order to redirect from the initial point there. This is a stupid tweet from a stupid website that is controlled by stupid people and are influenced by infinitely much more evil people. But yeah, I've seen that the CCP is going to end up controlling the world in 2028, and I hate it. I don't want it to happen, and Joe Biden is easily going to facilitate that, and he's just going to try to appeal to the Chinese because I'm pretty sure his handlers just want to be killed last when it comes to the CCP. But yeah, that's the downer for the day. please go out and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be back talking tomorrow, hopefully about something a little bit more positive outside of an explosion, a stolen election, and a genocide. Maybe somebody will just kick a puppy tomorrow. Maybe that'll be fine. Anyways, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.